We are back on the Rational Boomer podcast. We're also doing a TikTok live, which is interesting because I got suspended for a little bit off of TikTok, at least doing lives. And I did a YouTube and I did some on Substack. But I'm off suspension now. And I'm back on TikTok. And this TikTok live will also be a Rational Boomer podcast. It should air Sunday. But this is a good opportunity to be able to talk to a lot of folks, get some other insights from people. There's a lot of fucked up, crazy shit going on. A lot of stuff we can talk about. We'll bring in some of the regular guests to stop in. People like TJ the plumber. He's going to pop in here in a moment. And we'll get him going. I just have to set the screen properly. All right, TJ, how you doing?
Good, Mike. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. You know, I've been kind of going through what's going on in the news, and there's some really weird shit, some shit that's making you wonder about the cohesiveness of Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and some of the other things going on. We heard this story. We heard it first where Elon Musk talked to the cabinet, and then Donald Trump talked to the cabinet, and he said this crazy thing that, you know, the cabinet members will be making the decisions on as who gets fired, and Elon's just going to make recommendations. And we thought that was kind of weird. But then we hear the full story about what's going on. And it sounds like it was quite a shit show with Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and the cabinet, and Elon going after Rubio and going after the guy from the transportation department and basically admonishing them, which is weird because Elon hasn't been elected. And they're fighting back and forth. And Donnie's just sitting there loving the chaos and loving the fight. It really sounds like a dysfunctional fucking setup.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But I think maybe, of course it wasn't Donald Trump because he's an idiot. But I think it might be a little deeper than that. I think that part of it was planned and Musk overstepped his boundaries. Because you have to look at the places that Musk attacked. He attacked the Department of Labor,
right?
The FAA, okay,
right.
and the FDA, and a few other departments.
Well, the Secretary of State Rubio too.
Yeah. So, but those three, I think, were all part of the plan because if you look at like the FAA, for example, Elon Musk had an investigation going on against him in Starlink at the FAA. Right. So that was one of the first places he attacked was to offset whatever's going on with the investigation. And he fired a bunch of people, probably the people that were, actively involved in that investigation. And then he went and, of course, Trump went and Musk went into the Department of Labor, and Trump fired the Gwen Wilcox from the National Labor Relations Board, who also, the Department of Labor also has a case against Elon Musk. And then people say, well, what about the FDA? Well, Musk owns Neuralink, so Neuralink has an application to get an approval from the FDA. And there's some dissenters on that technology because they're not, there's a process to get approval. So if Musk goes into the FDA and fires 50 people or, 500 people, do you think that the people that are left are going to deny his application?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they've been talking about that a lot as far as, him trying to cover up or do away with the problems he has with these different departments. But it came down to a point where the transportation director was mad at Elon Musk. You want me to fire more people, and we've got plane crashes going all over the place? You want me to fire people like air traffic controllers? So there was some concern about the safety with the FAA and what Elon was trying to do. And then Elon said, that's not what I was trying to do. That's a lie. It just got to be like, a bunch of teenagers drunk around a kegger fighting about a fucking football team or some shit.
Yeah, but don't you think it's weird that the FAA decided all of a sudden to cancel its contract with Verizon, and then all of a sudden they want to get Starlink in there.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of that shit going on as far as, he was going to, he was suggesting he was going to recuse himself from any deals, and clearly he's not doing that. Yeah, there's a lot of fishy shit going on, a lot of unethical shit. I brought in a couple of other people. I brought in Rebecca. Rebecca, how are you doing?
I'm good, Mike. How are you?
Good. Did I catch you doing the dishes?
No, I'm making a drink, actually.
Oh, okay. Okay. You'll be doing the dishes later, cleaning the. Well, thanks for
joining. 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, true. Well, thanks for joining us, Rebecca. And we have Eric in Iowa, analytical Iowan. What the fuck you been analyzing today? There's a lot to talk about.
There's a ton.
Christ. Where do you start? I mean, good Lord. You got Donald Trump just ending the collective bargaining agreement with the TSA agents, going to make wait times going through TSA probably worse, trying to weaken the union. And like I said in my TikTok about it, to all of the Trump-humping union members, how are you feeling now? How are you feeling watching him end collective bargaining agreements and trying to bust unions?
Well, and it's the same with the veterans too. I when I was talking about him doing what he's doing with the veterans, and I said, veterans largely voted for Donald Trump, and somebody came at me, veterans didn't vote for Donald Trump. Well, not all of them, but 65% of them did. They voted for Donald Trump, and now they're having to deal with this shit, and it's absolutely abhorrent that they're doing it. Whether they voted for Donald Trump or not, what Donald Trump and Elon Musk are trying to do with the VA is egregious. I mean, it's ridiculous, and it's quite the opposite of what they claim to be. They claim to be the supporters of veterans. Now they seem to be the worst anti-veteran organization or veteran administration in the history of this country.
Well, yeah. And it's going to take a long time to fix all of the issues that they have caused with everything they're doing. They're fucking with the VA. They're fucking with, the TSA and the collective bargaining. Just every department, everything that they're touching. It's going to take years to undo all of the damage.
Right. Well, let's talk about that contract that they're trying to absolve. And that contract is with AFGE, which is American Federation of Government Employees. But the thing that Donald Trump doesn't realize is that the Fair Labor Standards Act allows for collective bargaining. That he can't change that. So that collective bargain contract is binding by law. So no judge is going to come back and say, yeah, you can just absolve that collective bargaining agreement. It's a binding contract that can't be absolved by anyone. The only way it could be, actually, there is a way you could do it. The only way that a contract can be absolved like that is if it's called decertification. So if the members of the union decide that they don't want the union anymore, they could file for a decertification with the Department of Labor, and they would have an election. And if 60% of the members vote to absolve the union, then they could dissolve the contract. Other than that, it's legally binding.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Donald Trump, and there's several examples of this, everything that's going on right now is an example of Donald Trump's fuck up. We were talking about the tariffs all for months and months. Donald Trump was going to impose these tariffs on Canada and Mexico, and then he backs off of it. He said it was the greatest thing for America. We'd make trillions of dollars. For some reason, he backed off. And then he reimposes them on March 4th. Stock market goes to shit. Everything's fucked up. People are calling him. The auto industry, everybody's calling him. And then he backs off that again. But something happened. Canada's getting a little fed up. Canada's going, I don't care if you pulled it back. Fuck you. We're still doing what we're doing. We're taking all your liquor off the shelves, which is a substantial thing. We're going to add 25% to the electricity, the oil, and everything else that we send you. Just because you backed off for a month, we don't know what you're doing. And we're sticking to it until we're done with this thing, till you're fucking done doing it. And then what does Donald Trump do? The day after saying he was going on a pause with Canada and Mexico, he says, oh, by the way, we're going to have 250% tariffs on dairy and is it oil or was it, no, what was it? Wood. On dairy and wood.
Yeah.
Oh, we get the wood from fucking them?
We get tons of lumber from Canada.
Yep.
And that was part of the problem during COVID.
Yeah.
Everybody was losing their shit because Lowe's and Home Depot and all the big home improvement warehouses, the price for a 2x4 was like $8 and everybody was losing their mind. But the Canadian sawmills shut down during COVID. So we
Yes.
couldn't
Right.
get any of the fucking lumber here.
And
So-
Canada's restrictions were way stricter than ours. So
Yes.
they couldn't come here. They couldn't import anything. They couldn't.
No.
Like, it was huge. And I work at Home Depot one night a week, so I know all about it. It literally was, that lumber issue was all because of like Canada's restrictions. So it's not going to be good now for sure.
But isn't it transparent about Donald Trump and his attitude? He takes off the tariffs and everything's cool. He imposes the tariffs. He takes them off and everything's cool. But Canada says, we're not taking them off because we're tired of fucking around. Donald Trump does the only thing he knows how to do, just act tougher and make a bigger threat. So he comes out with this dairy and this wood thing. I mean, it's so fucking childish. It's unbelievable.
Hey, let him do it. Fuck it.
Yeah. Is it surprising? He's always childish.
You want to worry about the price of eggs? Wait till you see the price of milk and cheese.
Yeah. It's going to, I mean, that what Donald Trump thinks is that he's all powerful and America is more powerful than anybody, but he doesn't understand. We bring in a lot from Mexico and Canada. And if they decide to just hold off, we're going to be in a world of hurt. We're going to be in trouble. Now, I did see one of the premiers who says they were going to shut off the electricity, probably in my state too. He says that's the last thing we'll do, but we're definitely adding a 25% tariff on the electricity. So my electricity is going to be 25% higher. Fuck you, Donald Trump.
Well, I guess you don't have to worry about TikTok fucking you on a live because Canada's going to fuck you on a live.
Yeah.
Might want to put
Yeah.
up some solar panels, Mike.
Well, I'm in a condo, so it's kind of hard.
Hey, does Iowa get electricity from Canada? Because Eric won't be able to dry his pants anymore if they don't have electricity.
Actually, I don't think so. I don't think we do.
I don't think you do. I don't think you do either.
But it might be time for me to invest in a generator, just in case.
TJ, do we?
No, New York, but not us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We have a generator
You know,
anyway.
It doesn't matter if the electricity doesn't get you, something else will get you. When this is all said and done, prices are going to go higher in spite of what Donald Trump says. And it's funny, now he's saying, well, there might be a little disturbance. That's not what you said when you were getting elected. You said it would drop everything within 24 hours of taking office. You said energy would be half of what it is then. And now we're getting a 25% bump. Seems like somebody was fucking stupid or lying.
Well, my electric bill was supposed to be cut in half, and it's weird. It went up.
Wow.
Yep. He said 6
That's
months.
abs-
you got
Sorry, I
it cut in
keep
half.
leaving the lights
Or
on.
was it 18? 18 months you got it cut in half.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard this quote. I saw it. I didn't hear too many people talking about it. But Justin Trudeau was talking about the tariffs and he was wondering why Donald Trump was doing this. And this is what Justin Trudeau said. Justin Trudeau said that Donald Trump told him, said the quiet part out loud, that he wants to disrupt and crash the economy in Canada so it would be easier to make it the 51st state.
Yeah.
That's fucking diabolical, and that is fucking ominous.
Well, he's a dumb fuck if he thinks that we're the only country that Canada does business with, because they do commerce all over the world.
Yeah, and they can send it any place they want.
Absolutely.
I'm going to bring in Gypsy Sue. We haven't talked to her for a little bit. She pops up here.
Hey, guys.
Gypsy, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
We're doing great. We're doing great. What's on your mind?
So, I'm I'm so over this tariff stuff. Like, as most Canadians are, like every day it's something different. I took one of my cats to the vet today for his annual shots, and I got in the car and I was listening to AM radio, and they started talking about how now he's talking about today about possibly immediately putting on more tariffs, like you guys were just saying, for dairy and whatnot. And I just sat in my car like speechless with my jaw hanging open. Like, there's something wrong with him. Like, and I don't want to say it like, what am I trying? I'm trying to get it out of my head into words. Like, I'm not being even anywhere near joking, but there's got to be something fundamentally wrong with that man's brain.
Oh, he has dementia, no doubt. Are you out of like seriously? Like he has dementia.
Yeah,
Well, I think he's been mentally diminished most of his life. He's incredibly immature. He's incredibly insecure. You know, whenever I hear him talk about the tariffs and tariffs are off, tariffs are on, it kind of reminds me of me with my granddaughter when she was about 3. Not anymore because she's going to be 5, way more mature. But when she would say, "Grandpa, you're a poopy butt," and I'd say, "No, you're a poopy butt," and she'd say, "No, you're a poopy butt." That's basically the argument with Donald Trump.
It honest to God is. And I'm so proud of our premiers and our
Yes.
prime
I am too.
minister.
Yeah.
Although he's, in 2 days he won't be prime minister anymore because we believe it's going to be Mark Carney when they do the leadership vote
Right.
for Sunday. But I'm just so proud that this time they're like, you know what? Like, fine. April 2nd, is that what we're going with now? We're not touching our shit. Like, it is staying.
Well, it's
I
like
agree. That's what to do. That's what you need to do with Donald Trump. You need to push back.
And I sent some messages to my Canadian friends, and I said, I greatly appreciate your leaders. They're doing the right thing. And I'm like, and if you don't buy American products in the next 4 years, I don't blame you at all.
Right.
In fact, I encourage you not to, because this is total fucking bullshit what they're trying to do to Canada. So you guys do you. I hope, this all works out, but this motherfucker's crazy.
Well,
So-
and I so appreciate what you've just said, because at the end of the day, okay, we have been the best of buddies, our two nations.
Yep.
We have been shoulder to shoulder in the trenches, in the wars, right beside you
Definitely.
guys. We fought, and also we've held peacekeeping roles when we haven't fought, and this is such a fucking insult.
Right.
That and I hate to say that things will never be the same, but while he's at the helm, things will never be the same.
I think while he's at the helm, they'll never be the same. But once we're past this, I get a feeling that Canada, the people of Canada and people of the United States might even be closer because we both know what's
Right.
going on. We both agree how bad it is. We want Canada to understand it's not the people of this country. In Canada, the people understand it's just Donald Trump. I hear that in the premiers. I hear that in the people talking. But now we have a common enemy.
Right.
Right.
You Canadians and we Americans. So
Right.
maybe
And
that brings us to bed,
Well-
brings us together better.
Well, Gypsy, just so I can jump in here real quick.
Of
Like,
course.
the problem that we have here in America is that these motherfuckers, the Trump-la-fucks, all these pieces of shit that support Donald Trump, we've tried to tell them. We've tried to reason with them. We've
Right.
tried to show them facts, and they don't fucking get it. So the only way that we can make them learn is when it affects them personally. So whatever happens because of the dumb fucks policies happens. And if Canada has to take action to make that happen, I'm for it. Because they need to fucking learn that Donald Trump's policies are fucking crap and they're going to fucking destroy this country.
Right.
Absolutely.
And it is what it is. And here's before I take off, just to give you guys a little chuckle. So we call our province, we have 10 provinces. We call our province of Alberta, like Berta-Bama. Okay. And there is a movement right now. There's a lawyer from Alberta. He's got some kind of coalition going on. He's being very secretive. He won't name names. He won't say who they're going to go meet. Anyway, I don't know if it's next week or the week after, but apparently this coalition of Albertan Canadians are headed down to Washington to go put their cards on the table to become the 51st state. I don't know if you guys have heard of that.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
good luck with that.
Jesus.
Right? It is so disgraceful. Like, where the rest of Canada, like, the one good thing about all this nonsense is that Trump has really, from coast to coast, has united Canada, okay? Because we have issues with each other, right? Sometimes, like the French Canadians,
Quebec,
Quebec, exactly, the Quebecois, and people on the East Coast, people on the West Coast. I'm in Toronto. Nobody likes us, right?
Oh, you're my neighbor.
Oh, where are you?
Erie, Pennsylvania.
Oh, nice. I've ridden a million times through Erie, Pennsylvania.
Well, give us a shout out when you come through.
Well, I will, but I think I'm holding off until he's gone.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
But
we might be in Toronto before you're in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Right. But so he's
Permanently.
Maybe, you never know.
He's united all of us, right? And then to have this group from Alberta that is like, pick me, pick us. We're coming down to Washington. Forget the rest of Canada, but we want to be the 51st state. It's ridiculous and it's shameful.
Hey, I can relate to that comparison, and I'll tell you why. Because I don't know how many times you've been to Pennsylvania, but Pennsylvania has Western Pennsylvania, which has Pittsburgh and Erie, and then they have Eastern Pennsylvania, which has Philadelphia, which is massive, right?
Right.
But Central Pennsylvania, the way I describe it to people is you have the Pittsburgh in the east or in the west and Philadelphia in the east, and you got Alabama in the middle, because that's what it is. It's Alabama in the middle. Honest to God.
You know, I live in a suburb of Minneapolis, and it's called Mound, M-O-U-N-D. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of wealthy folks that live here because we're right near Lake Minnetonka, and there's the less wealthy people. And it is a little rednecky in some places, and in that area they refer to it as Mound-tucky. They've got fucking T-shirts and everything.
I love it.
It's crazy.
I love it. Well, folks, you know what? Thanks for having me on. It's always a pleasure. And
thank you, Gypsy.
Yeah, thank you so much, and have a great weekend.
Thanks, Gypsy.
You too. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes, thank you. Bye-bye.
That is one of our Canadian followers or listeners or viewers or what have you, and we always love to hear from Canada. I always like Canada. I've been there a number of times. The people are wonderful. They have their own issues in terms of politics. You know, it's like anywhere else, but we've got a chance to talk to some Canadians, and that's always a great opportunity. I'm bringing in somebody else here. He's a doctor. Hold on a second. Let's see if he pops up. We sometimes don't get people to connect. They ask to be on, and then sometimes they just kind of aren't there. I think this doctor is not going to be there, so we'll end that right now. Look at some of the comments. Debbie Dog says, one huge universities here in South Bend ordering hiring freezes for Trump. Did you see that the mayor of Boston? I didn't see the mayor of Boston. Has Tom Homan gone into Boston as yet? He keeps talking about going in and grabbing up all the illegal immigrants in Boston, and Boston keeps saying, fucking bring it, bitch. But I don't know, has he gone in there yet?
I don't know that, but I'll tell you one thing I do know. If Tom Homan shows up in Boston, he better be careful, because he might disappear.
Yeah, no shit. Boston. I tell you, I go to Boston, and there's a lot of things that can be said about Boston. I love the town, and I love the people, but it's kind of when I look at the people of Boston, I kind of compare it to my wife, and it's I love them. I like hanging out with them, but don't be dumb enough to fuck with them because you will end up disappeared.
I agree.
All right. Well, let's see who else is out here that's ready to talk. Let's try this one. We'll see who this is. I think her name is Bonnie. Now, she requested to be on. We'll see if she actually connects here.
No.
Bonnie.
Yeah.
Hello, Bonnie. Are you here?
Nope.
Did you hear what happened before she came on? She
Yeah,
go, no.
That's okay.
Listen, man, don't request to come on if you don't want to fucking come on.
In fairness, people hit it by accident sometimes. I've done that too, so.
Yeah, no, it's no problem.
We invited people when I've been hosting the live. It
Right.
happens.
Oh, I've accidentally requested up in Trumplefuck lives. That never ends well.
Well, yeah, TJ, you do this, and I don't know how you can keep doing it. TJ will comment to me in a text or something and say, "Yeah, I went in to talk to these Trumplefucks and gave them hell about whatever." Doesn't that get on your nerves after a while? I mean, how long can you talk to somebody that's absolutely stupid? I talked to one Trumplefuck recently, and I said something, and he responded. I said, I'm sorry. We're not speaking the same language. You're too stupid to fucking talk to me or anybody like me. We can't even communicate on the same level. I don't know how you do it, TJ.
Well, there's different levels of stupid with them. Like, some of it's obvious, and conspiracy theory level stupid. And then there's some of them that have half a brain, and you can get in a little bit of a debate with them. But then here's what I've noticed about it. Once you shoot them some facts and they can't refute it, then they start talking over you and attacking you.
Yeah.
So at that point,
do.
I'm like, if you guys are going to talk over me, fuck you. I'm not going to talk to you guys. And I leave because I'm not going to be talked over.
I got a question.
Very diplomatic.
I got a question for Rebecca. Knowing what he does with all these things and knowing that you're married to TJ, what does he have this annoyance fetish or something? He enjoys pissing people off? You would know better than anybody.
Well,
tell the truth here.
he knows where I sleep.
You know where he sleeps.
Exactly. Yeah. He's very diplomatic, so he's really good at going into those lives and those Trumplefuck posts and trolling them because he's not overt. He's very diplomatic. He goes into them and he baits them. He baits like there's nobody's business. I've never seen anything like it, honestly.
Yeah,
it's
because
hysterical.
just a quick example. I'll go in there and say, "Oh my God, I can't believe they spent $8 million on transgender mice," and they'll respond to that, and I just make them look stupid, and then
He has a friend who's like an extreme Trumplefuck, and this guy TJ does not seek this guy out by any means.
Well,
he does not text him first. This guy thinks he's like TJ's best friend, and he contacts him constantly.
We went to high school together. I haven't seen him in like a year or two.
I've met him. He's dumber than a box of rocks, but he just wants to talk to TJ about shit all the time. And this guy probably, and he posts
the craziest shit. The craziest shit.
It's so hardcore racist and so bad. But TJ just baits him. He baits him into so many discussions.
I make him look stupid every week, and I can't believe he even talks to me
this
anymore.
This guy is a perfect example of we don't. And I'm sorry, TJ, because you went to school with him, but you became more educated. But he's the perfect example of why they love the uneducated. He's the perfect example.
He's a shining star of the poorly educated. It's bad, and I can't believe he even talks to me because I annihilate him on everything.
This guy literally loves TJ. He loves him.
I don't know. I don't get it. Why do?
it's a constant barrage of texts from him and like and calls and like they talk for like an hour and it's freaking so hysterical because he's so stupid.
But you know what? Like, but it gives me. I'll tell you what. I don't mind it, and I'll tell you why. Because I get a good perspective on the Trump-la-fuck psyche when I talk to him. Honestly, because he's down the rabbit hole so far that like I really can learn some things about how these people think.
Yeah. I'm going to bring in another guest, Granny Giggles, I think her name is. Granny?
Jeez.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm not ready.
Oh,
Come
she
on.
sounds excited to be here. It sounds.
Oh!
You. God damn it.
Jeez.
No, yeah.
Don't be afraid. It's okay.
The last two people I've pulled up, first one's going, no, 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 and hangs up. This one, I pull up and she goes,
jeez.
oh, Jesus. Okay, I'm going to pull up one I know will talk. May be hard to stop him from talking.
See temptation.
No, it's not Will.
Oh, John. Hey, John.
What
It's
the
John,
fuck is that all about?
I don't know.
What? Hey, JD, is Will's live over? Is that why you're here?
Yeah, he just wrapped up.
Okay.
He's done already. It's only been like 3 hours.
Yeah. What the fuck?
No.
He had like 2 hours to go. Did you guys get booted or what?
No, he got a warning though.
No shit.
I don't know why.
Gee, I don't know.
Because his moderators were on Boomer's Live.
Dude, I was beating him off with a stick over there.
Well, you know what's funny is I saw him on a live about an hour and a half ago, and I said, well, by the time I go on, he'll be off by then. And then I thought about what I was thinking. I go, nah, he won't. He won't be off yet.
I saw it too, and then right when you went live, I went to like look for them to tell them, "Hey, listen, Boomer's live," and I didn't see anybody, so I thought they were done, but I guess not.
I want to say something about that too. You know, I was talking to Will, and Will says, you know, tell me when you're going live so I don't go live when you're in. I go, Will, don't worry about stepping on my toes. We all just do what we do. I do what I do when I can do it. You do what you do when you can do it. I shouldn't be afforded any more deference than anybody. We just fucking do it, man. We all have important things to say, and we're pulling in people into the crowd and try to start a narrative. And I give Will a lot of shit, but I give everybody a lot of shit, right, TJ? Right, Eric? I give you all shit. I'm going to see my granddaughter tomorrow, and I'm going to give her shit tomorrow, and I love her more than anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, JD, what's on your mind today? Do you have any breath left from spending time on Will's?
Well, I'm catching my breath. Did you see about Gavin Newsom had the first episode of his podcast, and he had Charlie motherfucking Kirk on there?
Yeah. You know, I know what he did with that. He had Charlie Kirk on there, and people always said Gavin Newsom is the sure thing for the 2028 candidate for the Democratic Party, and I said that's too far out to make that commitment.
Yeah.
If you let Gavin Newsom talk too much, he may kill himself as far as a candidate goes. And having Charlie Kirk on, I know he's trying to get a lot of listeners and all that shit, but that can't do anything but hurt him. Especially he went down a path with the transgender athletes that may or may not be agreeable, but why create that kind of dissension if you hope to be a candidate down the road? It's just, I don't know. That was a bad move by Gavin Newsom.
Oh yeah, he's not coming back from that.
A lot of people are talking about J.B. Pritzker from Illinois as a possible candidate.
He would be great. I really think
He would be.
I think that's a better choice, to be truthful.
yeah.
I think it's a better choice because he is tough and he will get in your face, and that's exactly the kind of person we need. Gavin would too, but he's a little slicker looking.
Well, JB, I think I like JB because he talks more on our level, you know, and it's he's not ivory tower, but he's also very no bullshit.
Well, he doesn't come off as an elite, even though he's ridiculously rich. He does not.
Yeah.
He comes out like a regular. You know, you see him in a bar and you can buy him a beer and talk to him. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
Right.
I'm
That's kind of
going
Well, here-
Pritzker Walls.
I like that
Yeah.
ticket.
You know what's interesting? I when Walz is running for governor in 26, and then when Tiffany Smith is her name, she's the U.S. senator from Minnesota. She decided not to run again. I thought the natural progression would be for him to win, be the governor, and then go to senator, and then run for president. Because I think they're still looking at him because he was pretty popular. Whether he's a great candidate or not, I'm not sure. But I was talking to Ed. He'll be on the podcast tomorrow. And I said, I thought it was weird that he's decided now not to run for the Senate and probably run for governor again. Ed made a great point. When it comes to becoming a presidential candidate, governors are generally more successful than senators. I hadn't thought about that.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there seems to be more of a natural transition. Governor is effectively the same job as president, so people give
Yeah,
that a
chief
little
executive
more
of the state. Yeah.
Unless you're Obama.
Well, speaking
Yeah.
of Obama,
Obama was
somebody in
Obama.
the comments asked about Pete Buttigieg, and apparently he lives in Michigan now, and there's going to be a Michigan seat that's up for grabs. People are saying, could he run for the Senate in Michigan and pull an Obama, go 2 years as senator, and then run for president from there? And that might be enough to raise his stock. Buttigieg could be in the race. He could be a good.
He is freaking amazing.
He's pretty popular
I think
in Michigan, isn't he?
I think Buttigieg would be a great president, but based on what we saw on November 5th, the way this country thinks, I believe it almost has to be a straight white guy.
Yep.
And I'm sorry to say that.
Yeah.
That's not my preference.
That's not how I would vote, but I totally understand that. Yep.
Yeah.
I think it still would be easier for this country to elect a gay man. I think they could make the sell easier than they could with at least a demographic of this country that refused to vote for Kamala Harris.
Well, there might be something there. There might be something there because Lindsey Graham keeps getting reelected. So I don't disagree with Erica.
Point.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, if he was a black gay man, it'd be over.
Yeah.
But I mean, the racism in this country is absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to pull somebody else up here, JD. You can hang out with us for a bit. You always have something to say. I'm going to let you catch your breath. And we're pulling up Brenda. Brenda, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I am very new to this, so I don't even know if you can hear me. Am I good?
Yeah, you're good.
I can hear you just fine.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I've been, we've been mutuals for the longest time, Boomer, and I appreciate all of the stuff that you pass along. Because as a Canadian, we probably are mildly obsessed with you guys just because you're terrifying the U.S. a little bit with what's going on.
Well, it's got to be comforting to look down at us and going, geez, we're not that fucked up at least. We got to be doing something right.
There is that, but it's been leaking up into Canada as well. We've got Pierre Poilievre, who is very much following Trump's playbook of things, and I don't know how much you really have. I'm starting to get concerned about the bots. I'm assuming there's a ridiculous number of bots in the comment sections. Either that, or people are really just that crazy.
Well, I run into a lot of bots. I get a lot of bots coming through here, and that's why I have TJ and Rebecca and some other folks doing the moderating. Just dumping off the Trumplafucks is like a full-time job. TJ's a union representative, and it's so busy doing the moderation here. He wants to unionize this shit. So you mentioned Poilievre, the Trump, the Canadian version of Trump. What do you think about this? Some people would think that if Poilievre got to be the leader in Canada, that he and Donald Trump would vibe. I think just the opposite, because you've got two people that have their own realms, and when one tries to step on the other, somebody like Polyev might get, like Donald Trump against Donald Trump. I think that might cause more of a rift between America and Canada than if some of the more liberal people take the leadership.
Well, potentially, but no, I don't think so. I think Polyev would cave to Trump, and he'd do it in a way that it would just be. I don't know. I can't stand the man. I'm sorry. But yeah, no, I don't think that he would super stand up to Trump. It would come around as though, same thing as with Trump, that it was his idea, that it was a great, you know what I mean?
Well,
he's just the king of slogans, and he's been in politics basically his whole life. For 20 years, he's been in politics, and the man has not passed one bill. He's really done nothing of consequence. But what he did do is sabotage Trudeau in a very serious way. And that was just sad. And even as, Trump started putting tariffs on us and all this other stuff and started coming at us, I saw all of our premiers uniting, and Trudeau as well, standing up and saying, hey, this isn't cool. This isn't happening. And still Polyev was there going, well, if Trudeau wasn't better, then this wouldn't be happening. And that's not what we needed.
Brenda, I have a question for you. I've been watching Trudeau. Now, Trudeau decided to drop out, to resign or whatever. I think it's coming up this month. He's going to resign because he was losing support, right?
It was that. And I also think that because of the overwhelming nonsense that was happening, I think that he felt it was the best thing he could do for Canada.
Do you think with all the stuff with Donald Trump going on now, has he picked up more popularity, more support that maybe he wouldn't have had to resign had he waited till the last minute? Has he gained more support?
Possibly, because he's a great speaker. I think he's a great leader. And I guess I'm not involved in politics enough to understand what the hate is all about for him.
Yeah.
Because he got us through so much, and he did a good job of it as far as I'm concerned. But people just take these single talking points of he did this or he did that and saying even like he's a traitor. And I'm like, I don't get it. I honestly don't.
But we know Melania likes him a lot, so I don't know why everybody else would dislike him.
Problem.
Well,
no.
Personally, I think that Trump would like Polyev because he could build an axis of evil with Canada, Hungary, and Russia. So
100%.
They can build their little axis of evil together.
100%. I think Polyev would cave to Trump, and I think it would be like basically a gateway from the U.S. to Russia. And
right. Hell yeah. We can even throw North Korea in the mix. They can all have a little axis of evil together.
Get the whole thing together. Why not?
No, thank you.
We could go up through Canada, spend a night at Sarah Palin's house, and then go right to Russia. That would be fucking perfect.
From her house.
Yeah. You have the love quadrangle or whatever it would be.
Yeah. Now, Brenda, I keep hearing that, I know Canadian people. I used to cover hockey. I have a lot of friends that play hockey, so I know Canadian hockey players. And I don't know why anybody would think that a country that's main sport is hockey, where they go out and shoot a frozen hard puck 100 miles an hour at people's faces, they lose their teeth. These aren't the kind of people that shy away from a tussle. And as small as Canada is by comparison.
Gloves. Yeah, they drop their gloves to punch helmets. Like, who does that?
They just go out. They just go out on the ice and beat the shit out of each other for fun.
Hey, can we get Donald Trump on a hockey team?
Yeah, that would be good.
Oh, what about Elon? Okay, this is completely sort of different, but Elon saying he wanted to be on the Daily Show and then completely backing out of that.
He's a pussy ass bitch. That's
exactly.
there
we go. We all agree. Yeah.
They both need to be on the Rangers for one day.
Well, didn't he tell Jon Stewart that he'd only go on if it was unedited?
Yes, if it was
And then Jon
unedited.
Yeah,
Jon Stewart said all of our shows are unedited, so come on, motherfucker. We'll
Yeah.
do it for us.
What a fucking bitch. What a pussy. He's the biggest pussy ever.
What I don't understand about Elon Musk is I keep watching him talk. Everybody told me he was a genius, he was brilliant, he was rich, he was all these things. Every time I hear him talk, I can't track what the fuck he's saying. He stammers, he stutters more than Joe Biden, and he goes off on tangents like Donald Trump. He can't keep a thought. He can't even fake it.
He has
Right.
ADHD and the intelligence of a garden hose. He has
Come
nothing.
on now, don't insult
That's not the
Garden Hose.
ADHD though. I think it's the K.
Holy shit. Have you guys seen the guy that does the impression of Elon Musk on TikTok?
No, I have not.
Yeah, he's good.
His
Did you
name
see
is-
Mike Myers do it?
his name-
Brilliant. He's brilliant.
His name's like Alex Bizin or Bizbin or something like that. Oh my God. That is the best. It's spot on the best impression of him. It's hilarious.
Yeah, he found his niche with that one for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
There's another guy that does Mitch McConnell really well too. That guy's freaking awesome.
He's famous. I can't remember what his name is.
No, I remember he's a tall kid and he does a lot of impersonations. He started out on TikTok. I mean, it's funny with TikTok. You know, you got this guy now. He's off with stars someplace. There was this another couple of guys, a young guy and his dad, and they did these funny things. Now they're doing fucking shaving commercials on TV. It's crazy. Nobody's called me for shit. Not one fucking call.
Why? Come on, man.
Even
I would think
videos
I would
don't
think
get
they'd
more
at least
than
call me for
5
reverse mortgages or something. You know,
Exactly.
something an old guy can do.
AARP.
They're calling you to talk about the price of your car insurance.
Maybe they can hire you to talk about, calling people about their car's extended warranty or some shit.
I get letters about car warranties on cars I no longer have. It's just fucking
Guy
stupid.
here says
So
Liberty Mutual.
Liberty Mutual.
so Brenda, when does this all go down with the new premier? Is it this month in Canada?
Well, it's the new prime minister, I believe.
Prime Minister, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I believe he's stepping down this weekend. I'm not even
Oh,
100%
wow.
sure. And the Liberal Party will decide on a new interim prime minister. And I hope it's going to be Mark Carney. Because he's
It sounds like it is.
I believe it is. I really hope so. But you know what? We've had so many curveballs, especially from you guys. Thank you very much with Trump. But anyway, sorry.
We didn't do it. Don't blame
I believe
us.
it's going to be him.
That was
And then
not
when
my
the
point.
election will be called, I'm not 100% sure. Whether they'll call it right away, it's not scheduled, I believe, for a few months. But I think because there's a lot of unrest, they might call it sooner. And I kind of hope they do, because I think Pierre Poilievre's lost a lot of traction with. And that's why I believe that Trudeau, he's been a good prime minister. And I think what he did, it was right for the country, because he went, okay, I'm out. So that way.
He's probably tired of the shit.
Oh my God, yeah, right? And I still believe, he may, I don't know what his role is going to be, or if he's even going to just bugger off for a year, and I would not blame him. F all y'alls, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, but I believe that once Carney's in place, hopefully Carney, then they'll probably call one fairly soon, because Pierre actually lost a lot of traction because Elon Musk endorsed him.
Good.
It's true. It's true.
Everything Elon touches dies.
Right?
Elon Musk endorsed him, and Doug Ford canceled his $100 billion or $100 million contract for Starlink.
Yeah.
And isn't there a bunch of countries doing that?
Yeah, there is.
England, I believe, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a few of them that just told Elon to pound sand, and of course his Tesla cars are taking a dump, and
And his
Oh,
rocket
he's-
just
terrible.
exploded into space.
Yeah, holy
Yeah.
shit. His rocket blew up and they had to close Florida airspace for like 12 hours. Oh
And
my.
another
and it's a second
few.
it's the second straight time. The last two he put up blew up.
Well, he got in trouble.
That's-
He got in trouble with the FAA because he had an illegal launch station. And
And then Doge fired half of the FAA.
yes. Yeah, he was under investigation, and then we just talked about that earlier.
Yeah, he's got to
Yeah.
fire a bunch of people to like keep his.
So this is what we know about Tesla. The Cybertrucks can't make it through snow, and his rocket ships can't go to space. What fucking good is he?
But
The
yet they want to
Cybertrucks
get rid of
watching it
Musk.
try to get through like 3 inches of snow to get out of the parking spot was
Yeah.
too much. Like, honestly.
It's
Especially coming from Canada, because, like, are you serious?
yeah, same here in Minnesota.
What
we live in
province?
Erie.
What province do you live in?
I'm in Ontario.
Oh, you're near us. We're in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I grew up in, like, sort of Toronto, Scarborough.
Yeah,
But we're a little further north now, so we just got pretty much pounded with snow.
us too.
But I've got an old Ford Flex that could get through, like, a lot more than one of those things could.
Yeah,
And we're in
I think
Minnesota.
we're currently holding the world record for snow right now, aren't we, TJ?
I don't know if we're still on top, but we were.
Yeah, we were.
And oddly enough, we're in Minnesota, and we haven't gotten hardly any snow.
We would not. None of us would never own a vehicle that is not four-wheel drive.
No.
No.
Mine's all-wheel, but same deal, sort of.
Yeah,
sort
same
of.
deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that works just as well. Well, Brenda, thank you for joining us. Good luck up in Canada, and so we'll kind of talk off the air, but I'm thinking of running a pipeline from Kentucky to Erie, and then up to you in Toronto or wherever you are in Ontario, and run some of that Jack Daniel's moonshine. Because you're going to have people aching for that Kentucky whiskey or Kentucky
I
bourbon.
don't know. We got some good whiskey going on up here too. So maybe if people are really looking for it, right? I'm not opposed to it as long as it's we're still like holding our ground on things. So
Well, TJ's not above going Al Capone on this shit, so
No.
be looking for him.
I have a still.
TJ has a still.
I have a still.
And I grow
Wow.
corn.
we'll all do what we got to do. But hopefully we'll make a change.
I know, John. You keep saying we got to get together.
JD, I'm still waiting for that tanker truck of mash to show up at my house. Hasn't
Rebecca
showed
said
up.
it showed up the other day. What the hell?
I feel like an outlier because I haven't drank since the '80s. So you can take the fucking alcohol off the shelf. I don't give a shit. Anyway, Brenda, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Take care.
Yeah, so it's amazing how many people from Canada we get on this live. There's a lot of them that do show up, and it's. I like the fact that we get a chance to talk to them. My wife keeps saying, "I hope they understand it's not us," and thankfully, everybody I've talked to in Canada gives me that impression. We don't hate you guys. We hate that orange punk ass bitch, Donald Trump.
What's going on with us is extremely concerning to them, I'm sure.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
just gonna suggest that 75 Corvette was in the chat, and you should bring her up.
And 75 Corvette is up in the chat. How you doing today?
Hey, good gang. How you all doing?
Good.
Good.
So we've had quite a few days of melee and activity, haven't we? Jesus.
Yeah, it's not just a few days. I mean, it's ramped up the last few days.
Yeah.
But since Donald Trump has been in the election, 2.5 years ago or whatever it is, it's been a fucking shit show every day. Some bullshit is coming out, and it's tiring.
We're barely into the end of the second month, and I feel like it's 4 years already.
Yeah, it really does. It really
But
does.
I wanted to just touch back on what you guys are talking about the potential future candidates. And, the problem with Gavin is, California tried to unseat him not that long ago.
Yeah.
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 So he's not even all that popular in California within his own state anymore. He's been fighting a battle for years now about his policies, and he's part of that Democratic elite, and it's not a good look at all. And I don't think, for the most part, I think we do need to have a male team going out in 2028. I'm sorry, but listen, I'm all for women. I'm all for minorities. I'm all for everybody getting representation, but we got to win. Like, we are losing so badly that we got to stick to the old program, unfortunately, and find the best white guys we can.
Yeah, the fact that Gavin
Yeah.
Newsom is married to Kimberly Guilfoyle doesn't help us either.
Right. I mean,
Yeah,
he
it
has
makes
a
me question
history.
his decision making.
Yeah, I mean, he has a history of making some bad choices, and I think in a way, some of his good looks and his Hollywood atmosphere, that sort of personality is working against him now. And
I know how that is. Good looks are a fucking curse. It's a fucking curse.
no, because that Charlie Cake,
Right, Eric? Right, Eric?
Yeah.
that whole Charlie Kirk interview, I was spitting nails. Let me tell you.
That was
a mistake.
Still livid over that.
I don't mind that he wanted to have him on because, look, it's good for us to know what these douchebags are thinking. Excuse my language. But for him to be like it's sort of like the way everybody felt about Obama smiling and laughing with Trump. It's like he didn't push back hard enough. He didn't ask any hard questions. He didn't hold his feet to the fire. They talked like they were just buddies that had a disagreement. And I think that's what pissed people off the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell you if Charlie Kirk came on here, it would be a different experience. You got Gavin Newsom doing his first podcast, caring about how he looks and how he comes off. You make a good point about Gavin Newsom being part of the establishment. I think that's a good observation with the Democratic Party. The establishment Democrats, they should be done. And when I think about establishment people, I'm thinking of Pelosi and Schumer, the older people. Hakeem Jeffries has bought into the establishment thing. We need somebody who's kind of an outlier, kind of a rogue person. I would say Jasmine Crockett, but Jasmine Crockett doesn't have enough time in yet to run for president in 28.
She's still a junior. She doesn't have in the years. But listen, neither did Barack Obama for that matter. But
Yeah, but
Well,
Donald
that's
Trump
true.
is a black woman. We already proved that that's not going to be a viable option.
oh, absolutely. Listen, let's all be honest here. I was completely and fully behind Biden. When they bullied him, and I believe to this day they bullied him, I believed it that weekend. But when they bullied him into backing down and giving it over just initially without naming anyone, and then by Sunday we heard that he was going to support his vice president, I went full in because we needed to support the Democrats. But let me just tell you, look at your history. Vice presidents do not have good records for winning because they're blamed for what the administration did that they were part of. And if that person, the current president, is not well liked, the vice president is even less well liked. Then you have
That's true.
It's not
a
even
woman.
necessarily that, but at that point, it was too little, too late to run a black woman.
And that too. And now she's a woman and a minority. She had three strikes against her going out, right? 100 days to campaign, and then she did the whole elitist Hollywood thing too. And let me tell you what really turned me on, and I supported her right up until we knew we lost, because I'm like, this is our person, we got to do this. But when she had Cheney on more than once, I was like done with it. I was so done with it. Cheney one time was good because, okay, we'll get maybe some Republicans will, be a little more moderate, although Cheney is no way a moderate. And then she had it on a second time, and I'm like, what's going on here? Oh, she's in Wisconsin again. All right, I'll let it go. And then she did it a third time. I'm like, what the fuck?
That
She
was
was trying to pull in the moderate Republicans, and that was never going to work. And in the process, she blew off the progressive left because then they would never do that. You know, I talked to Ed yesterday on the podcast. You haven't heard it yet because this isn't today; it's tomorrow.
Right.
Anyway, Ed had a good observation, and I have to qualify it. Let's qualify it. Both Ed and I said we thought Joe Biden was a great president.
Yep.
We thought Kamala was a great candidate, and she did everything right that she could, but she had lost.
Yep.
But he thinks the ultimate fuck up was by Biden. And when he said he was a transitional president and knew he was going to be 82 years old in the 2024 election, he should have stuck with that and just said, yeah, I'm not going to run because I'm too old. And then we could have gotten somebody else, whether it be Kamala or whoever, but we would have had the time to build that candidate.
Yep.
I think we should learn a lesson from that, and we should also learn a lesson that the establishment candidates, Democrats don't want that shit.
Not
Democrats
anymore.
are just as divided with their party as Republicans are, and that's frightening.
Well, the thing with Kamala, for me, was she came in late. Yes, and that's not her fault. That wasn't her fault. But the idea that she was part of that administration that was already getting flack, and she was a candidate that was going to be divisive because of being a woman and being a minority, that it was like a three strike against her. Forget about she only had 100 days. I don't think if she had 6 months, it would have made a difference, personally.
And
But
she
that's
couldn't
what
push
the-
back against Joe either.
Right.
While she was running, she couldn't push
That's
back or
right.
say, Joe's doing something wrong. I'm
Right.
going to do it differently. Otherwise, that would be inappropriate.
Right. She couldn't actually detach herself from the whole administration. Meanwhile, she's still vice president and has to work with him, right? Like,
Right.
it was a bad scenario all the way around. And, but I did have some objections to sort of the aloofness of her whole campaign, and sort of a little bit too much with that, everybody's got to be happy and let's do this with smiles and sunshine. No, let's play dirty because that's what we're up against.
Right. Exactly.
The whole, even Michelle Obama at the DNC said, I'm done with the let's go high. She said it right there at the DNC.
I love that. I love that from her because she took a lot of heat for that. And I think Kamala, and I'm just saying it up front, Kamala would have been a great president, and it would have been a great person to start digging us out of this hole.
Yeah.
But I think she kind of tracks with the established Democrats too.
Yeah,
And
she
I
did.
really think you're absolutely right. We got to get away from that. We need somebody with a stronger personality who looks like they're going to fight for us. Let's be
Yeah.
honest. Donald Trump is a fucking idiot. He doesn't know shit about shit. The only reason people vote for him because they believe he's a tough guy, he's no nonsense, and he's going to fight for them. People are tired of the establishment. So we should take a hint from that and maybe build our candidate, the Democratic candidate, in that same mold, except, have above average intelligence and not be a fucking criminal. If we could do that, we might have something.
Right. Well, because you know what it's come down to now, and I forget who I was watching earlier this morning who said it. We are playing under different rules now, and the Republicans set the rules because they're the ones breaking them all. And if we're still playing by rules that are no longer enforceable, then we need to stop playing by those rules. We need a street fighter. We don't need somebody in a suit and tie.
Absolutely. I've said this a number of times on the podcast. I'm going to say it again until I make sure people get it. AOC says some shit about the Republicans. They go after her.
Right.
Jasmine Crockett says some shit about the Republicans. They don't fuck with her.
They're quiet.
They're quiet because they don't know what she's going to do. That should be a hint to whoever the next candidate is. Be tough, be strong, be in your face, and don't be afraid to get in the mud.
Yeah, because she speaks the truth, and that's what they don't want to go up against. She doesn't try to play, games about how she delivers it. She delivers it intelligently. She delivers it on the facts alone. She tells it like it is, and she doesn't apologize for it. Well, they're always couching everything they say. Did any of you get invited to the DNC Zoom call that was Wednesday night? I think at 9 o'clock. Did
Yeah,
anybody
I think I
attend?
did get. I think I did get invited to
Okay,
it. I
I
didn't
did.
go.
I made sure that I attended. It was pre-recorded. They were softball questions, and
Oh Jesus.
all Hakeem did, I think there were 8 people or 10 people on the panel, who were different congressional people. All he did was praise them and their past and all of how they did this. I don't give a fuck about that. What are you going to do now? Now.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but I'm almost done with Hakeem, and I don't
So
want to
done with
be.
him.
But he just
So done with
he
him.
ju- yeah, he's not helping the situation at
You know
all.
what it is?
Like years, for like years, I felt he was our savior, and now he's.
See, I never really thought he was the savior, but they were talking about, because he was a little bit more quiet back in the day when this was
Yeah.
going on. So I thought, okay, maybe they see something in him that I don't see, because I don't see him as a strong person. And then when he had the chance to come out and actually, like, look, what just happened at the joint sessions when Al Green stood up and not one, excuse me, I'm so angry, not one motherfucking Democrat got up and walked out with him. How
Yeah.
is this possible? And AOC stayed home and then made a TikTok to say, I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't be there. What the fuck you mean you couldn't be there? Then protest outside.
Yeah.
How are you not there with the other Democrats? You are saying you're fighting for your constituents, but you stayed home and watched it on television. I'm done with her too.
Well, and the worst part of it is, and I've said these names over and over on the podcast, and I'm going to keep saying them because I feel strongly about this. When they decided to censure Al Green, of course, all the Republicans voted to censure him, but there were 10 Democrats that did it.
10.
And I would like to ask one of them what their reasoning was. I'm going to read the names real quick because people need to know who did this. This is being
But before
traitors
you
to the
read the
party.
names, can we just point out one person who was the biggest disappointment? Because most of those names,
I know who it
don't
is.
who they are. Who is it?
Jared Moskowitz.
That's it, right
Yep.
there. The biggest disappointment. What a traitor he's turned into. The other 9 of them, I don't even know half their damn names. I've never heard of them before.
Well, there's Jim Himes of Connecticut, Laura Gillen of New York, Jim Costa, California, Ed
Costa,
Case of Hawaii, Ami Bera of California, Chrissy Houlihan of Pennsylvania, Marcy Kaptur of Ohio, Maria Glusenkamp Perez of Washington, Tom Swozy of New York, and again, Jared Moskowitz. And I wasn't that surprised by Jared Moskowitz because he'd already been doing some fucked up stuff. He's the one that voted for shutting down TikTok and then immediately went and invested in Facebook. So I have trouble listening to this guy. I mean, he's a good talker. He jabs at the Republicans, but for fuck's sake, where is his head
Yeah.
really? I can't tell.
You know what? I've met Chrissy Houlihan, and I'm really disappointed about that because she seemed like a good person.
I mean,
Well,
and then the only thing I object to is, I don't know, did you all hear the interview that Jasmine Crockett did regarding Al Green, one of several that she did? And I got a little bit annoyed with her because she was a little apologetic about Al Green, saying, well, you got to understand, he comes from that time of the civil rights movement when that's how what are you talking about? That's how you're supposed to react. I don't care whether you were around the civil rights movement or you just got in office 2 weeks ago. What are you apologizing for? What he did? He did exactly what he needed to do.
I didn't get any apology vibes from it. I just got her explaining his background and like why he felt it was necessary.
Yeah, but everybody shouldn't need to know what your background is to fight for what is right. All the man did was stand up and object to a comment that was a bold-faced lie. And did you see?
He didn't make any apologetic videos.
No,
so it shouldn't matter what anybody else says.
No, not him. I'm talking about Jasmine Crocker when she
I
spoke.
understand that, but what I'm saying is that he did not make any apologetic videos.
I know, but
So
she's
he
the
stood
one that
his
they're.
ground, and so whatever anybody else says shouldn't
But
matter.
she's the one that everybody's going to now. She's already did about 5 different interviews since this happened, right? So now she's become sort of the spokesperson for speaking out on the Democratic side because she's the only one really doing it with any consistency, right? Al Green did it on principle, and he was doing it because he was representing his constituents and saying this is not just about the idea of Medicaid being decimated. It's about my particular constituents in Texas who are desperate for this kind of care, right?
Every Democrat should have done it.
That's
Every
right.
Democrat should have
Yeah.
stood up and
Every
done
one of
exactly
them.
what he did.
Every one
This
of them.
is my this is my read on what happened there. You can say whatever you want about Al Green. In my estimation, out of 215 representatives, he was the only one that had the courage to stand up and tell the truth.
That's
He didn't
right.
say anything wrong. He
Nope.
said you don't have a mandate to cut Medicaid.
That's
That
right.
is true. And they didn't want to address it.
And he said it, he didn't even say, matter of fact, I had to listen to the recordings that were posted after by the different news agencies because he spoke so softly. Some of it I didn't even hear until I watched
Yeah.
some of the news clips. Okay. So the man
I'm
had
pro-
complete decorum. He stood up, he made his feelings known. And then when they asked him to leave, he walked out like a gentleman. Now, did you see when they scanned the audience? Some of the people were looking at their phones, the Democrats. They didn't
Yeah.
even acknowledge that he was being escorted out. They didn't cheer for him, but the Republicans were going ape shit on their side, cheering and chanting and clapping. And did Johnson once bang the gavel and tell them order, order? No, not one time did he shut up the Republicans.
I was proud of Al Green and embarrassed by 214 other fucking representatives in the Democratic Party.
Absolutely,
Now-
still am.
Now, last year, or the year before, whenever it was, Marjorie Taylor Greene
And
went
Boebert.
off, and Boebert, they were unhinged in that situation.
Yep.
They weren't censured in spite of the
Nope.
fact that Al Green was. I'm not mad at the Republicans about that. It's just part and parcel to what the Democrats do. They have an opportunity to censor this woman for doing far worse than what Al Green did, and
Yep.
all they did is sit there with their thumbs up their asses.
Yep.
This is the problem with the Democratic Party. They are not. They're going into a fight and they're not fighting by the same rules. It may be distasteful to you, but this is the world today. You either get in the fight or go sit on the corner and wait for us to finish this fucker up.
Well, they have a problem because they don't act like they should act. Like, I act like an asshole. I act like a fucking dick. And that's what they need to fucking learn.
Right.
Like you can't fight these motherfuckers by, kowtowing to them all the time. You got to fight them and kick their fucking ass and tell them to go fuck themselves.
Well, you got to give them the same energy. If they were being polite
Yeah.
and they were using decorum, then you would behave properly. But when you're in a street fight, you don't say, "Please don't hit me again." You punch
No.
back.
No, you throw
Fucking punch back.
you throw a fucking brick at them. That's what you do.
And when they're not looking, you sucker punch them.
Yep.
Like, I'm so done with this. I'm like ready to get out of the street and start throwing hands.
Whenever I've talked to a Trumplafuck on the show or wherever I talk to them, I'm very aware of what their strategies typically are. And my experience with talking to Trumplafucks, when they start saying something stupid, then I ramp it up. I talk loud. I talk over them. I keep shoving it in their face. And you know what they do? They fucking cower and they run away. They run away. And that's what we should do. That's what Zelensky did to Donald Trump. That's why he got so fired up.
That's
Donald
right.
Trump wanted to intimidate him and make him roll over. Zelensky wouldn't do it.
Nope.
And it pissed him off. And that's why he became unhinged.
Now,
Right.
and look, the idea that somebody gets in your face and you try to be diplomatic, you try to be sensible, and they keep coming at you. Well, you know what? You got to return fire. I don't know how people don't have this instinct in them to defend themselves. Forget about if you're not thinking about the entire party even. Zelensky was just defending his own honor at that point, right? He's like, you're not going to talk to me like this, and you're not going to lie when you are making these accusations, because you're not just attacking my character, but you're lying on top of that. And so he went at him with both fists. That's the energy that we need. You cannot let them keep bulldozing us, because as you just pointed out, they're just like bullies on the playground. They will bully you as long as you allow them to.
Right. Well, and they did exactly the stereotypical thing for the bully. They went after Zelensky, and he pushed back, and he didn't fold up and die like they wanted him to do and just surrender to Vladimir Putin. The first thing they did after it was all said and done, they said, oh, he's disrespectful. He was mean, which was obviously not true if you watch the motherfucking thing. But This is what they always do. When they get pushed back, then they become the victims. They're pussy-ass bitches is what they are.
And they're typical of a bully because, we all went to school, and if we weren't bullied, we witnessed bullying at some point in our school years. And the idea that the person who retaliates toward the bully always gets the bad end of the argument, right? Because no one sees the bully start it. They only see the person fight back. And that's what they did with Zelensky. He started it, on an even keel where Trump was talking at his normal bullyish tone, so nobody was paying attention until his voice got raised because Zelensky said, wait a minute, no, I'm fighting for my country. My people don't want us to give up. We don't want to have a ceasefire if we got to give up our property, our land. He was saying all the things any one of us would say. If you came into my house and you said, I'm going to start taking your furniture out the door, I'm going to be biting your ankles, dragging you down, scratching your eyes out, kicking and screaming, spitting and doing everything. Why would that be any different?
Well, you guys got to realize that the peace deal that Donald Trump offered Zelensky was a surrender.
Yes.
It was.
It wasn't.
He offered nothing in return.
It wasn't a peace deal. It was a fucking surrender.
Yep.
And why would
he basically?
Go ahead, Mike.
He basically said, sign the deal, and then Zelensky said, well, what kind of? Well, actually, the reporter said, what assurances of security in the future do you offer, Zelensky? And he goes, security? I can't talk about security until we sign the deal. Oh, Donnie, you want us to give us your shit? We want us to give you our shit, and then we're going to trust that you're going to help us after the fact? Sorry, Donnie, if I was going to trust anybody, the last motherfucker I would trust to get paid later is from Donald Trump.
Well,
and he thought he could bowl him over and get him to sign this. And when he didn't do that, you could see he got a little antsy. You could see in his mind that he was being embarrassed, not only to the public, but to Vladimir Putin. He told Vladimir, I can handle this. I can handle this guy easy. And then when he walked out of there and didn't cut the deal, Donald Trump burned the bridges and stuff. And then afterwards, when he thought about it, he said, we got to get back to the table. We got to come up with an answer to this. Yeah, because you fucked up, Donnie. You fucked up big.
And I watched it live. I happened to have been able to watch it when it was happening and it was being televised. And they immediately went afterward, and every station was critiquing it immediately. Did you see how red Trump's face got when Zelensky said, what assurances are you? Like, I don't trust you. And then that's when he exploded and really went to town on him. And Zelensky didn't flinch. He didn't waver. Nothing. And the comeback about the suit was chef's kiss, was perfect. He didn't miss a beat. He didn't let anybody bully him. And it's a sad state of affairs to think that whether it had been national television or just within the country, that any leader, regardless, that any leader would mistreat the leader of another country in that fashion is just, forget about the decorum. It's just the idea that how do you expect to make any kind of diplomatic negotiations when you have that little respect for another human being?
Well, and the guy who complained about the suit and tried to embarrass him, that's a lot of nerve from a guy who's dating Marjorie Taylor Greene, for fuck's sake. Talk
Yeah.
about bad goddamn choices.
Yeah, right. Talk about bad taste.
Hey, listen, Geico is paying him a lot of money to date Marjorie Taylor Greene. Just so you all know.
Right. Well, because she
Geico
can't
is
make any
why.
more of those commercials, with the caveman. She can't make any income anymore.
Oh, I get it. I get it. Okay.
But
Yeah. You're trying to be nice,
yeah,
and this is no place to be nice.
I'm not trying to be nice. Fuck that.
yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
think we're really at the point now where, every single they have to get see what the Republicans do is they're prepared to fight all the time. And the
Yeah.
Democrats have no scripts, no practices, no lines that the party is sticking to that everybody will resort to as a defense against this kind of behavior. They're all just sort of trying to be, and Chuck Schumer, oh my God, he's another one. Did you see what Jamie Raskin said when he was in front of Congress? He's another one that stands up and speaks his mind, right?
He does. He does. I like Jamie.
But I don't know. Did you see the pink jackets all the women were wearing? I'm like, so, and what does that do? What does that do? What was that about?
I don't know. I have no idea what that was about. And I will tell you, Chuck Schumer, he's getting old too, and he seems to be losing a step or two because of his age. He wasn't strong in the first place. Now he seems a little feeble.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's always been wishy-washy. He's just more
Yeah.
wishy-washy now. But you mentioned Swazi. He took over that guy from Long Island, the one, what's his name? He's the one who got his seat to finish out his term.
Right, right.
Yeah, so he went in there strong with a lot of recommendations and with a past history. He's not new to politics either, right? But New York,
Well,
California, Connecticut, you're talking about blue states. And how did you dare not say no to signing off on a censure? I don't understand it.
I can see why Swozy did it. I don't agree with it. I still think it was a pussy ass bitch thing to do. But he's the one that took over for that goofy fuck. What's his name? I
Yeah,
forgot
so I
his
was
name.
trying to remember his name. The one who's going to go to prison.
The fraud. Yeah, Santos.
Yes.
And that was a Republican district.
Yeah.
And Santos pretty much lost the Republicans when he decided he had to go to jail.
Yeah.
And Swozy probably came in there and said, well, I'm a Democrat, but I got to not piss off the Republicans so I can keep my seat. Because when it comes down to it, that's all these people care about. Do I get to keep my job? That's first and foremost in their plan. So I'm sure he's going to say that, well, I have some Republicans in my district. I don't care. I don't care about Republicans and Democrats anymore because I'm tired of both of them. How about we just focus on what's right and what's wrong, what's true and what's a lie, what's legal and what's illegal. If we just focus on that, I don't care what party you're from.
And what they don't want to acknowledge is that there are plenty of poor Republicans. So
Yeah.
these are your constituents, whether they're Republicans or Democrats. They're poor and they need these services. So if they know they're going to lose everything, they're going to stand behind the person that supports their interest.
Absolutely. Well, 75 Corvette, thank you for coming on. I'm going to try to get a couple more people on here. I appreciate you coming on. You always bring some good insights. Thank you.
That's what I think. It's like I feel like people don't like the Democrat Party right now because they're all wishy-washy, and I feel like if they ran young progressive candidates that are bold, I feel like they get more support than they actually think they would.
Right.
Because right now,
Right.
Hey, there was something that offended me in this live. I just want to set the record straight. Because I don't like anyone referring to Charlie Kirk as Charlie Kirk. I would prefer if you were to refer to him as Comrade Kirk.
Yeah, there's something to be said for that. Charlie Kirk is a dipshit. He's a dipshit. No question. And let's see.
Well,
Oh, goodness. Will's out there.
oh boy.
We'll bring Will in.
Can we get Sea Temptation in here too, please?
I haven't seen her out there, but since Will's here, I'm going to take a bathroom break. Hey, Will, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, Mike. I did an hour. I did an hour and a half before you came on, so forgive me.
I know. I saw parts. I saw parts of it, and I was trying to time it out, figuring when you'd be done with it. So when I went on, you'd be done, and I think you were still going when I jumped on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, we went to 10, but
No, it's no biggie.
yeah, it was it's been. I'm gonna bring up something I know you guys brought up before. Michelle Yu. Michelle Yu, when I don't know what she was doing in Congress. She was in Congress because she defied Tom Homan, telling him
Right.
ICE is not going to help you. She went in there and took a knife to those guys. First of all, what the fuck was on that head of Paul Gosar? Please tell me. I thought it was literally they put a ball on his head and someone cut his bangs. Did he?
Yeah,
how
he's
do
a
you
weirdo.
Look up and look in the mirror and go, "That's good."
I got that haircut in 3rd grade.
Oh
Yeah.
God! But what she did, there was 2 flexes. The biggest flex is that she came on Ash Wednesday with the cross on her forehead,
Yeah.
which was basically telling those guys, all of them are fake evangelicals. And then what her speeches were, what she was condoning, is what Jesus condoned on the Sermon on the Mount about
Right.
compassion, empathy. This is what we need to do for people. And and she didn't raise her voice at anyone. Those guys were screaming at her because they're a bunch of they knew they'd lost. And that's the thing. It's like I don't blame all Democrats for this. I think they're just stuck in their Washington bubble. They don't get out of their bubble. They need to come out of their bubble and sit down with the rest of us and see what's going on. Because they
Yeah.
keep hearing lobbyists. They keep hearing this, that. That's why Republicans act like they do, because they think enough Fox News people love them that everything's going well. Then they go home and get jumped. They
Yeah.
will never get it. So for me, it's right now. I think someone said in the live. I think it was Auntie Kilmarger said it. Is that we just gotta wait till they get totally burned before we can step up. Okay, and you see what happened? Let's go. Because that's what it is.
Yeah.
They still think they're going to get something out of it. I mean, there was a guy in here in the comments said you're going to get your refund for everything that Trump is doing. I saw that. I'm going, really? They ain't going to give you shit.
Hey,
I tell you what,
my dumbass,
guys.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Mike.
go ahead. Hurry up though, because I got to do something.
My dumbass Trumplefuck cousin said, "You're gonna get $8,000 checks from Doge," and I'm like, he put it on Facebook, right? And I commented on it. I said, "I got my check yesterday, and I already cashed it."
Yeah. I tell you what, I'm going to wrap things up. We're about at that point anyway. I got a violation warning, and I don't want to be fucking suspended
got
for
two.
another fucking
Let's
week.
not
So,
fuck
I got
around.
2.
Yeah.
all right, we'll wrap things up. For all of those listening, thank you for taking the time. I hope you have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow. All you guys helping us out and ladies helping us out, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Be
See ya.
safe.
Yeah.